The laws of arithmetic. Number 1, commutative. Well, let me introduce you to little Jimmy. There he is. Now, little Jimmy, he lives in Bangor, but he works in Llandudno. So what he does is he gets up, he gets dressed, he gets ready, gets all his work stuff together, he's had some good breakfast. Then he goes outside, he gets in his car, look at that snazzy car, and then he drives all the way to Llandudno, where his work is. There you go. And what he's doing is he's commuting. He starts in one place and he moves to another place, and then later on he'll go back home to Bangor. Well, it's the same sort of idea here with numbers. So here's one for us. 3 plus 5 equals 5 plus 3. Is this true? 3 plus 5 is 8 and 5 plus 3 is 8. But what's happened here is the 3 has commuted to a new position and the 5 has commuted to a new position. They've moved, just like little Jimmy did. He started in Bangor and he moved to Llandudno. He commuted. So that rule works for numbers. In addition, it also works in multiplication. 3 multiplied by 5 is the same as 5 multiplied by 3. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15 and 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. Now the commutative law, extremely useful, only works for addition and multiplication. It doesn't work for subtraction or division. Let's test that theory. 3 take away 5 equals 5 take away 3, question mark. Now 5 is bigger than 3, so 3 take away 5 actually equals negative 2. 5 take away 3 equals 2. Negative 2 equals 2. No, it doesn't. Load of rubbish. Cross it out. So, to recap, the commutative law only works for addition and multiplication. That's the first one. Let's look at another law. This one is associative. Well, have you ever played that game? Maybe at youth club or at a party, where you have a whole load of people, they're dancing around the room, they're having a good time, yeah. And then what happens is somebody calls out a number and you have to get into a group of that number. So if these 5 people were dancing around and somebody shouted out 2, they'd have to get into groups of 2. So maybe these 2 get together and maybe these 2 get together. Now there are still 5 people at the party, but they've put themselves into groups. They've associated with each other. So here we've got 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That was the original lineup, and that made 5. But now we can say 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. And that's what the associative law is. It's about grouping things together. Let's have a look. 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals this. Let's test that theory. We do the brackets first, don't we? 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Okay, remember that? 4 plus 5, because we do brackets first, that's 9. 3 plus 9 is 12. Yes, it works. This also works for multiplication. 3 multiplied by 4, in brackets, multiplied by 5. And here we got 3 multiplied by bracket 4 multiplied by 5. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. Remember that? Over here. Brackets first. 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. 3 times 20 is 60. That's true as well. Now the associative law works for addition and multiplication, just like the commutative law works for addition and multiplication. We've got one more for you. The distributive law. Well, we're going straight in with the numbers on this one. 2 multiplied by brackets 3 plus 4. When you distribute something, you send it out, don't you, and you link it with something else. So here, I'm going to distribute this 2 with the 3 and the 2 with the 4. So 2 multiplied by 3. And I'm going to add, because of this here, the 2 multiplied by the 4. This gives me 6 plus 8, which is 14. Now that's what distributing is. We've got the 2 and the 3 and the 2 and the 4. If we did it the more familiar way, as in the way that perhaps you're more familiar with using BIDMAS, we got 3 plus 4 first. So 2 multiplied by 7, because 3 plus 4 is 7, equals 14. So it gives the same result in both cases, so we know that it is true. This also works algebraically. You can have this one for free. So let's say we have 2 multiplied by x plus y. Well, it's really useful here, the distributive law. We can't reduce x plus y any more. It's just x plus y. But the distributive law allows us to do this. 2 multiplied by x is 2x, and 2 multiplied by y is 2y. So those are the 3 laws of arithmetic.